Well, hey people, good to see you, even though I can't see you. I don't know why I said that, but look, here's what today is going to be about. Today is going to be about experimenting. Not that kind of experimenting, you perverts. I'm talking about experimenting with ideas that you may have about cooking things that could be good or maybe not good. Trial and error kind of things. So I had an idea of something that I thought would be good, and I've never done it. I've never cooked this dish. We're gonna do it together today. If it's good, then we've got something great that we can say was created right here on Fend for Yourselves. If it sucks, you're gonna laugh and mock me, and I don't care. The best thing to do though is go ahead and get going. Hey, I want to tell you about a very sweet and obviously intelligent woman named Nicole who watches Fend for Yourselves. She sent us a message and said that she tried the jambalaya recipe from the show that I did a couple of weeks back, and it was a huge hit for her family. Now that's something, she's not just messing around. She's jumping out with one of the more difficult recipes, and she sent a picture of it, and it looked absolutely delicious, almost as good as mine, almost. So we really appreciate it. Nicole, thank you very much. And if you try any of the stuff that we do here, that you've learned from here, these recipes, please send them to us. It's meals@fendforyourselves.com. Tell us what you cooked, send us a picture of it, tell us how it went over, unless it was terrible, and then we don't want to know because then I'll get depressed. So, meals@fendforyourselves.com. Send pictures, send your critiques of the recipes. We want to hear from you. First of all, a couple things we need to cover. One, it is a very dreary day here today. It's not lovely at all. It's not a lovely day at all. Today is a dreary day, so we're gonna have to try to brighten that up. The other thing is, whenever you're seeing this, it's gonna look like we still have Halloween decorations up and it's past Halloween, but today is actually Halloween. So all of the decorations that my wife has up in the kitchen are still, they're still on time. They're not overdone. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with a classic. That classic is that Velveeta Rotel dip that everybody eats at ball game parties. So that's what we're starting with today. So you're gonna dump it in there. And I got a pound of Velveeta cubed up and 1 can of Rotel diced. You getting any of those, Mr. Todd?
Yep.
Okay. Diced tomatoes and chilies. Okay. So we're just gonna melt that Velveeta, incorporate it all together, just like you would if we're about to go to a party for football or something like that. Okay. So the classic Velveeta Rotel dip is done. All right. Now I don't cook with Velveeta very often. But I love this. I love from my childhood. This is one of the best things ever. Now, other people from my home state of Louisiana will cook with Velveeta for every meal if you let them. I think they sleep with Velveeta. They love it so much. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Now we're gonna go in and add some shredded chicken to that. You may not need all of this chicken. Just get you enough in there to get it a little meaty. Now, I'm gonna admit I cheated on this chicken. I bought a rotisserie chicken at the grocery store and deboned it, shredded it. I didn't cook the chicken myself. All right, so we're incorporating this chicken into it. I don't think we're gonna need all of it, so it'll be good. All right. So we're gonna let this simmer for just a few minutes. Okay, since I've never cooked this before, there are gonna be some experiments that we have to do along the way. We're gonna throw a little of this in, a little of that in. Now I'm looking at it and it looks a little bit too thick for what I'm gonna do with it. So I found some half and half in the refrigerator that's not expired. And I'm just gonna add a little of that to it. and try to thin it out some. Get it a little bit thinner consistency. And you can do milk if you got milk, you'd rather do that. I wouldn't mess around with skim milk doing this. Get you some whole milk, you know, what I like to call the Lord's milk. Lord don't want us drinking watery milk. But I have to do it anyway. All right, see it's thinning it out a little bit. I may thin it just a little bit more. And then we're gonna let it simmer for a few more minutes. All right. Okay, so I think we're just about done with it. This is where we want it. Now, not having a recipe to follow or anything, I had to taste it, and you got to be careful when you're salting stuff cooked with Velveeta. Oh, my light went out. My light just burned out. Oh my God. Oh my God. But when you're using Velveeta, because it's salty, but it did need a little bit of salt, so I put a pinch of salt in it and just a little bit of a sprinkle of onion powder because I just felt like I needed to do something. All right? So here's what we're going to do with it. And you could take this and eat it like it is on chips or whatever, and it would be great. Probably better than it's going to be with our little experiment here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it over some spaghetti. You see? Now this is just regular spaghetti. It's not angel hair or focaccioni or linguine or any of those other, I don't even know all of them. This is just plain old spaghetti like my mama had growing up, and my mama's not Italian. So now we're gonna throw a little cilantro on it. Remember how we say it? Cilantro, cilantro, yes. And Mr. Todd is going to try it and let us know if it sucks or not. I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably not going to be the best thing I've ever cooked. But that's the fun of it. Okay, again, don't know how this is going to turn out. I just had the idea to do it. Now, I will say, hold on. Okay. I will say this. Mr. Todd's going to try it. And I do know from just tasting it as I was cooking it that it has a lot in common with Mr. Todd, because it's very cheesy. I'm kidding, he's a treasure, and I would never think that way of him.
Wow, it is definitely cheesy.
Yeah, it's basically cheese spaghetti with some chili peppers in it and tomatoes. It may be hot. You can smell it like it's rancid or something.
It's really good.
But it's cheesy.
It's cheesy. It's cheesy, but it's good. Like, I like it. Like, could you even put meatballs in that? Like sausage meatballs?
I
Or
could,
just chicken?
I was going to use andouille sausage, but I do that in so many of my recipes.
Yeah. No, it's good.
And the andouille sausage may have made it too spicy for you and your delicate, precious palate.
It's actually really good.
Okay.
I like it.
Well, there you go. Now I don't really partake in the illegal substances, if you know what I mean. But some people have told me when I told them I was going to do this that it sounded like munchy food, like that people would go nuts for this.
Yes.
You know, when they've been doing you know, the devil's work. But this was just fun, so maybe something that the kids like or whatever. You get the recipe at fendforyourselves.com. We put it up. I'll just have to figure out the measurements of what I did today. That'll be a little difficult. So it may not be a precise recipe. You know, like I've always said, this is not my real job. It's a side hustle, so I can't put as much into it. But I appreciate the fact that you watch and that you have nice things to say. That's awesome. So until next time, the next Fend for Yourselves. I love you. I love you all, but I got to go. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.